Here's a look at New Canaan this morning. It's 43 degrees out right now, but we will warm up into the mid-50s today. We'll have a look at your hyper-local forecast in just a few minutes. Good morning, I'm Warshavsky. A Norwalk woman is facing charges in New Canaan this morning for allegedly writing $1,400 in phony checks. Police tell us 68-year-old Patricia Hiller was arrested yesterday. Investigators say she wrote two fraudulent checks, each for $695 last September. Hiller is due in court at the end of the month. Well, former Governor John Rowland is heading back to court today. He will be in a federal court in New York to appeal his campaign frauds conviction. The hearing is exactly 1 year after Rowland was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. As we've reported, Rowland was convicted for trying to hide payments he received while working on the failed congressional campaign of Lisa Wilson Foley. He spent nearly a year in jail over a separate corruption scandal in 2004 after resigning as governor. State lawmakers are scrapping plans to study the impact adding a third casino would have on Connecticut. A proposal calling for the review was defeated in the Financial Revenue and Bonding Committee yesterday. The tribes that run the Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun casinos urged lawmakers to put off the study, saying it would delay plans to open the casino. Both tribes are planning to jointly run a gambling center to compete with a casino being built in Springfield, Massachusetts. This morning, many state-funded agencies are struggling to find ways to absorb $65 million in emergency budget cuts announced by the governor this week. Those cuts affect everything from basic housing and job training to the Department of Social Services. News 12 Connecticut's John Craven shows us the impact those budget cuts could have for some state families.
His name is Bruno, and we call him BJ. He's in a wheelchair. He doesn't speak.
For Cindy Stramandinoli, raising her now 43-year-old son was a labor of love.
I could never work, so my husband worked 1 job, 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs.
BJ needs 24-hour care. The state of Connecticut helps pay for it. But with an ever-growing budget deficit, Governor Malloy is cutting another $17 million to the developmentally disabled.
This is devastating for families.
Katie Banzaf with Norwalk Star Incorporated understands we need money for roads and rails, but she says these cuts mean fewer people working and paying taxes.
Everybody's worried about GE moving out, but I'm also worried that the parents who currently have jobs, that now one of them has to quit their job to stay home with their disabled child because they cannot be left alone.
Since his sister Marta died, Patrick Vingo has fought for those who can't do it themselves.
People with disabilities are not something you can put on a shelf and say, we'll wait till later. They're living, breathing creatures, human beings that need help now.
This is the most vulnerable people in the state of Connecticut, and morally we have a responsibility to help care for them.
That was John Craven reporting. The Department of Social Services isn't the only one facing severe cuts. We're told Medicaid is also facing a big hit, and that could have an effect on individual families. Chick-fil-A is coming to Norwalk. The city's zoning commission has approved plans to build a fast food chain inside a new shopping plaza at 467 Connecticut Avenue. Officials say the approval comes with several conditions, including traffic concerns for surrounding neighborhoods. So far, there is no timeline for the completion. Today is a big day for Slurpee fans. 7-Eleven is bringing back its Bring Your Own Cup event. Today until tomorrow, Slurpee fans can fill any cup-like container they bring, but unlike previous years, there is a limit. Containers have to be more than 11 inches tall and no more than 9 inches wide. That means you won't see people filling things like buckets, traffic cones, that's an interesting one, and kiddie pools like in years past.